My name is Foster. Pretty easy to remember. I'm the only one here. We've got Michael right here, followed by Ron. Now, Ron is actually the gentleman that runs our Cask to Cork program on a day-to-day basis. I've stepped in today just to give a little bit extra because I'm also the barrel maturation manager for the company. So I actually put together all 4 of these barrels for a specific reason, which we'll talk about while we're doing the Cask to Cork program. So when we get over to our Cask to Cork area, everyone's gonna have a spot. They're not assigned. Sit wherever you like. I recommend, for those of you that are married or in relationships, sit next to your +1 so it's not awkward. I don't want that to a weird conversation on the way home. But we'll do our Cask to Cork. When we're done, you guys get full reign, wherever you wanna go. I've got the events that are being unlocked right now. I'll take you up to one of our rick houses. If you have any questions of any kind, don't hesitate to ask. I'm gonna walk you through how we're gonna do our process, and then you guys are welcome to start tasting. I don't like telling you guys the proof points ahead of time. I'll tell you the proof points after the fact, so long as you guys are okay with that. Ron has pre-filled your barrel numbers and our selection numbers, and what I mean by that is, I'm gonna touch 1 cup. If you lift one of your glasses, you'll see a number underneath it. That is just so we can keep our orders of barrels over here. There is no particular sequence of how I've organized these 4 barrels, except that it is 1 through 4, and I'll explain all that a little more later on. Now, in front of you, a lot of apparatus and a lot of things we've got. We've got your bottle, which is probably one of the most important things next to the bourbon to go into it. We've got your label pack. We've got your jig, as we call it. This is where you're gonna apply your label. We've got your bucket to catch your liquor from the barrel. We've got your scale. We've got your cork. We've got the whole shebang. None of that matters right now. The first Cask to Cork was rough. The first Cask to Cork was this table only over by those 2 fermenters, and like a magician, I had 10 people, did the tasting, they went to Thief, and while they're doing that, it's like, don't look at the man behind the curtain. Because we didn't have all this stuff up there, we didn't have the space for it. So then the second one of the day, I was like, I need another table. So they brought a table out, they put it right there. So they tasted here, did this stuff over there, and I was like, guys, we got it. I need space. And Pete's like, I want people to see it. I'm like, I know you want people to see it, but it's a see-through door. They can see the barrels. So thus, this space became. For those of you that have been here many times in the past, this just used to be the storage area. Yes, they're all cask strength. So the funny thing is, you taste this today, if that barrel's still in rotation in a month, it's a month older. Because you're literally just pulling from the barrel. So your age statement stops when you put it into that bottle. Right. So yeah, they are cask strength. We are not gonna proof them down. Unfortunately, we don't allow blending, but that's on the docket as something we're gonna develop. A form of our spirits, an expression of our spirits that has never been released to the public. There is no bottle out there on the floor you can go and pick up that has this exact mash bill in it. So this is a 75-21-4, 75 corn, 21 rye, 4% malted barley. It is classified at the very bare minimum as a high rye bourbon. Now, that being said, all the same cooperages, all the same barrel entry proof. If you look at your barrel numbers, you'll notice, hey, a couple of these are in sequence, and they are. They're all West Virginia Great Barrel Company, Char 3, Toast Medium. So for those of you that aren't too familiar with our brand, we do everything that we can to the bourbon standard. What I mean by that is when we lay down barrels, they're always gonna be charred. We don't buy uncharred barrels. So we're always gonna hit that bourbon standard. So the only time it's gonna differ really is if the mash bill changes. If we hit something less than that 51% corn. Now toasting is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes we toast them, sometimes we don't get toasted. Pete prefers a toasted barrel. He likes to give those vanillins a jump start into the progress of being extracted. Now, North Carolina, and again, some of this information might be a little redundant when we start doing the tour. North Carolina, our climate is so frustratingly great for making good whiskey and bourbon. is so different and how we can get that. We have a very short dormancy period. Our barrels don't go to sleep for very long because of the cold. Now, 3 weeks ago, that would have been an incorrect statement because it was freezing inside of my rick houses were 42 degrees. But that's good though, because that gives that time for all that wood to become more and more dense and more things to pull out. And then the summer is going to hit, probably sooner rather than later. And then we're going to get the expansion, and we're going to get more change, and we're going to get more motion inside those barrels.
Rotate your barrels?
Negative. We do not rotate our barrels by design. Inside that rick house, when we get in there, you'll see that they are stacked 7 pallets high, 9 pallets deep. The only time I would rotate is if I change positions, and we don't do that by design. There's never a plan. It's just if I've got to pull an entire row out, if I'm smart enough to keep them in order, I'll put them right back. If not, I just remap and stack it right back the way it was. We don't segregate, you know, as far as mash bills or different types of spirits. It all goes in together. Because the cool part of this is all the unknowns. We don't know what that barrel is going to do. We don't know what that locality is going to do. Now we have an idea. We have an understanding. If I put it this high for this long, I can do this, I can do that. We don't know what this building is going to turn out versus that building or the two that I have offsite. Because we actually have barrels in 5 different buildings at this point in time. So we have some really cool ones. Now these barrels didn't start their life on our property. And what I mean by that is they were made here, obviously, they were filled here, but they immediately went off to another warehouse. So they went off to a warehouse or a rick house that we refer to as Armfield. I can't tell you where it is in Statesville, but Armfield's called that for a reason. But it's been a lot of time there. Armfield is a really, really cool building because it was never designed or thought of as a rick house. All these went into the barrel at 105. So I will tell you that much at least. They all started in the barrel at 105. Now, for those of you that have been here enough and been on the tour enough and remember your numbers really well, you're saying, wait a minute, y'all don't do 105, y'all do 110. You're absolutely right. Back then we did 105. You can twist, you can push, you can press, or you can be like me, you grasp the bottleneck and you take it like a rubber mallet and pop that bad boy on. Concave and the convex side. When you go to place it, we recommend kind of give it a center motion and then press down. That way, number one, you do this, it doesn't go off askew, you don't get a ripple in it. If you go too low, you're gonna have a wrinkle. You go too high, you're gonna have a wrinkle, but right in there. That'll be your front. Rotate it over.
Go in there any way you want.
That'll be your back. Now, when it comes to tamper strip, if you want it like our products, I preface that, once your labels are on and you stand it up, the tamper strip goes centered with the tip of the star.
Perfect.
If you want it like one of our products. But again, this is your bottle, these are your labels, you do them however you like. Were there any questions we had before we departed this area? Anything you guys want to know at all?
Where did you do?
Like, hey, bottle your own in 4 years, or was it just like flavor-based?
Flavor-based. I would love to say that there was a plan, but there wasn't. It was a, hey, we want to do this program. We want to have something unique to our spirit expressions out here. So this mash bill was one of the few that we have that we don't have a representation of. So then it became, okay, are we going to do 6-year, 5-year, 4-year, 3-year? What are we going to do? This flavor range right here, perfect. So for your experienced bourbon drinkers, it's perfect on the palate. For your inexperienced folks, not knocking anybody, it's a good entryway into it. It's a good way for y'all as friends, couples, husbands and wives, whatever the case is, to be able to experience completely different things, like completely different things, and still have a whole lot of fun doing the experience.